Hi and welcome to icemonkeytech. I'm Stephen, and yes, I know it's been a while, but I am back. I've been very busy with work, with it being Christmas and so on. Anyway, today what I thought I would do, even if it does seem a little bit too late, is build a budget PC for the new gamer over Christmas. However, looking at stock levels, you won't get this built before Christmas, and unfortunately you'll have to wait until stock replenishes. I was very lucky to get some of the parts I got. As for graphics cards, you just can't find them anywhere, can you? The world has gone crazy for PCs. Obviously with the lockdown and everybody being in the house, they're looking for something to do. So what I thought I would do was stick to under 500 British pounds. However, that didn't quite work out. And due to some prices being a little bit more than they usually would be, because obviously of low stock levels. So what I've done is we put a nice little system together. I'm not going to benchmark it today. I am going to show you the build today. I will upload another video hopefully next week with all the benchmarks of some half decent games, just to see how well it runs today's games, or around about today's games. I imagine this to be around the entry to mid-level range for a PC. This was a self-build. I imagine you would have to pay something around about 650 to 750 Great British pounds for this if you were to buy it off a retailer. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you all the parts that I have bought to build this. I will link everything in the description down below, and well, I might as well get started. So here we go. First of all, we'll start with the motherboard. We use the B365MDS3H, as you can see in the box, from Gigabyte. This is a budget motherboard. I actually had to go Intel with this, and that's because every AMD processor was either out of stock or expensive, and too expensive for a budget build, even the budget processors. So I went with Intel for this one, which is probably, it's not the first Intel build I've done, it's the first new Intel build I've ever done. So there we go, the B365, which obviously is 9th gen. And as far as the processor goes, we went with the i3. The reason I went with the i3 is because I had to stick under £500. It's the i3-9100F. I did go 9 series, and I probably could have gone 10 series if I was taking the budget to about 550. I didn't want to stretch that far. I wanted to try and keep it right under that 500 British pounds. But anyway, it's this actually does have discrete graphics if required, but so you could take the price of a graphics card off if you're not gaming and you're just looking for something to browse the internet and have a bit of mess about with. This would probably do great. 4 cores and the LG51 socket. I didn't use the cooler on this, so this is why I'm saying a £500 build. You'll find out why very, very shortly. I didn't use the cooler. I'm not keen on Intel coolers. They feel a bit cheap. I'm sure they could include something a little bit better for like what AMD do, but never mind. The i3 9100F. I can't remember how much these were, but they will be in the descriptions. Then we stick with, like I said before, we didn't stick with the Intel cooler. I wanted to move away from the Intel cooler, so I used the Arctic Freezer 7X. I've used this before on the i5 and also on an old i7, and it's a very good cooler for the money. I didn't want to go all out. Like I said, this was a budget build. Still wanted the system to look good, but I didn't want to spend too much. Easy to use, easy to fit, piece of cake, and for under £20 as well. So I felt that a very good deal to be had there. Next up, we have the graphics card, which was the hardest part of this whole entire build. This card's a good card for the price you pay for it, but you have to be careful about the price you pay for it because it varies so much. It's unbelievable. This is, I went for the Asus Dual Radeon RX 5500 XT, 8GB RAM, and it's on the 7nm architecture. This goes with FreeSync. It's the OC edition, 8GB of GDDR6, and also PCI Express 4, but you don't need PCI Express 4. 3 is absolutely fine. I don't think you'll see many gains, and this is a budget build. If you're going for top-notch PCI Express 4 graphics cards, you're not going to buy a 5500 XT. A neat little card and a decent little card with a little bit of RGB on, and by this is the Asus model. Now this was around about £180, maybe just over, but be careful. when you're looking for these, some of these were coming in around £250. Personally, I think £250 is way too much for one of these, and the £180 to £200 mark is probably about right. So I was lucky enough to get this because I couldn't find another one, because I needed to build another computer after this, because this machine has actually been built for a friend of mine for his sons. However, he wanted to build them, but I couldn't because I couldn't find the parts. But we'll get another one built after Christmas, so if you're watching this, kids, don't worry, it's on its way. So anyway, the 5500 XT, that's the graphics card we'll put in. Not a bad little graphics card at all. And like I said, once again, later on, and hopefully next week, I will get some benchmarks up for you to see how good this card is, and if it's actually worth putting in a budget build. I hope it is, because I've already built it. Right, not much left. We put a 240GB SSD in here. I used the Data one. A pretty basic SSD, but very cheap nonetheless. The Cooler Master case, absolutely fantastic little case this. It was a treat to build in, actually. I was very surprised how easy it was to build in. One thing that I did find a bit cheap about this case, even though this case is quite cheap-ish, was the RGB fans. They do mount them in the front, forward of the actual chassis under the front plate. But the only airflow you have is at the sides of the front plate, because this actual front plate is Perspex. So it looks great when you're looking through it, but as the fans were further forward, I felt there wasn't enough room for it to pull the air in, so I've moved the fans and put them on the inside of the case to give them a bit more air, so they can pull a bit more air in. I actually took the Cooler Master fans out, and when I did, I was surprised at how cheap they felt. I'm very surprised about how cheap they felt. They felt extremely cheap, and I'm pleased I put these new fans in. These new fans is a pack of fans I had lying about. I do have another video about these fans. These are the easy DIY fans. I had an extra pack of 5 lying out because I actually bought 3 packs instead of 2 for my own system. So I decided to put them in there free of charge as a little Christmas present for the kids.
Don't forget to tell them Uncle Stephen said hi. I've never met them, but I'm sure they're great.
So I did put my own fans in there, and apart from that, I don't think we have much else in. So we've got the 5 fans, or the power supply. Yes, a power supply, which was extremely hard to find. When I say extremely hard to find, I mean extremely hard to find. I ended up going with an Aerocool Cylon semi-modular 700 watt power supply. The reason I went for this is because within the budget is pretty much all I could find. When I opened the box and took this power supply out, I wasn't expecting much. I was pleasantly surprised. It's extremely well built, and the modular cables are all black. There is no ketchup mustard in there, and it looked quite well, and so far it's been absolutely great. So here's the montage of the footage I took of building the PC, and we'll have a little chat when this one's finished. I'll see you in a second. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen, the footage of me building it, which was quite a sweet build, didn't have too many problems. Like I said, I took the fans out because I thought they were a bit cheap, and I put these fans in. I'm sure it would have been fine without them, but I just thought that, you know, we'll get some RGB in there for the kids, along with the graphics card. Very subtle RGB on the graphics card. I'm sure I'll be sticking some B-roll in here for you to take a look at all those. However, didn't think you could get such a good PC for so cheap, considering everything was new. So there we go, the £500 PC build or thereabouts. You could build this cheaper if you wanted to, if you changed a few parts out, like possibly a cheaper hard drive, a cheaper without the fans, a cheaper case, cheaper memory, and so on. You could get it right under that £500 and maybe do spend a little bit more on the GPU. However, I think for £500 this little system is absolutely amazing. Anyway, that's just about it from me, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget about the mouse giveaway. I haven't quite hit that 500 subs yet. I would like to hit the 500 subs, so tick like, share, hit the bell notification, do whatever you've got to do. I will put links to the mouse giveaway up here or somewhere like that. I'm sure it'll be there somewhere. I'm sure you'll find it. Anyway, I've been icemonkeytech, and I've also been Stephen. Take care, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye for now.